Untouchables or the Children of India's Ghetto by Babasaheb Ambedkar. Part 2, Chapter 6, 9. The untouchables must not wear decent and clean clothes, and they must not wear gold or silver ornaments. If the untouchables defy these rules, the Hindus will not hesitate to bring them to book. The untouchables have been trying to defy these rules, with what consequences will be seen from the following incidents, which have been reported in the newspapers. Until 1922, the untouchable caste of Dalai in Berar district of Bundi were forbidden to eat wheat. In February 1922, a Chamar woman was put on the rock in Sakatgarh, Jaipur, simply because she was wearing silver ornaments on her feet. The reason given was this that only men of the high castes were allowed to wear silver or to eat wheat. The low caste people should not dare to aspire to these things. So far, we have been thinking that such antiquated ideas were supposed to have already died out by this time. The Times of India, in its issue of 4th January 1928, reports the tyranny and oppression practiced upon the Balais, who form an untouchable community in central India, for their daringness to wear clean clothes and golden ornaments. Says the Times. In May 1927, high caste Hindus, that is, Kalotas, Rajputs, and Brahmins, including the Patils and Patwaris of villages Kanana, Bicholi Hafsi, Bicholi Mardana, and of about 15 other villages in the Indore district, informed the Balais of their respective villages that if they wish to live among them, they must conform to the following rules. 1. Balais must not wear gold lace bordered pagdis. 2. They must not wear dhotis with colored or fancy borders. 3. They must convey intimation of the death of any Hindu to relatives of the deceased, no matter how far away these relatives may be living. 4. In all Hindu marriages, the Palai must play music before the processions and during the marriages. 5. The Balai women must not wear fancy gowns for jackets. 6. Balai women must attend all cases of confinement of Hindu women. 7. The Balais must render services without demanding remuneration and must accept whatever a Hindu is pleased to give. 8. If the Balais do not agree to abide by these terms, they must clear out of the villages. The Balais refused to comply, and the Hindu element proceeded against them. Balais were not allowed to get water from the village wells. They were not allowed to let their cattle to graze. They were prohibited from passing through land owned by a Hindu, so if the field of a Balai was surrounded by fields owned by Hindus, the Balai could have no access to his own field. The Hindus also let their cattle graze down the fields of the Balais. The Balais submitted petitions to the Darbar of Indore against these persecutions, but as they could get no timely relief and the oppression continued, hundreds of Balais with their wives and children were obliged to abandon their homes in which their ancestors lived for generations and to migrate to adjoining states, that is, to villages in Dhar, Devas, Pagli, Bhopal, Gwalior, and other states. Only a few days ago, the Hindus of Rayoti village, barely 8 miles to the north of Indore city, ordered the Balais to sign a stamped agreement in accordance with the rules framed against the Balais by the Hindu of other villages. The Balais refused to comply. It is alleged that some of them were beaten by the Hindus, and one Balai was fastened to a post and was told that he would be let go on agreeing to sign the agreement. He signed the agreement and was released. The next is from the Arya Gazette, dated 21st January 1928. Up till now, the tales of war that were usually related of the persecution of the H word were mostly from the Madras province, but now, thanks to the treatment of the Maharana of the Shimla Hills, one has not to go so far to search for these stories. In the Shimla district, there dwells a caste called Koli, whose members are very handsome and hardworking. The Hindus of that area consider them to be untouchables, or they do not engage in any such work which should render them objectionable in the eyes of the Hindu religion. The members of this caste are not only powerful and well built, but intelligent also. Almost all of the songs that the dwellers of the Shimla Hills sing are composed by the Kolis. These people labor all day long and venerate the Brahmins excessively, but still they cannot do much as pass near the house of a Brahmin. Their children cannot read in schools, in pathshalas, religious monastic schools, and their women folk cannot wear gold ornaments. It has even been reported that some coolies have gone to Punjab and earned some money with which they have brought back gold rings and earrings. When, however, they have brought these back to their homes, they have been cast into the jail and not freed until the ornaments have been passed into the pockets of the state officers. The following letter appeared in the Pratap of 23rd June 1926. Swami Ramanandji Sannyasi writes, on the 23rd of March 1926 in the evening, a chamar came to me who had recently managed to escape from the clutches of the Jats. He related to me a moving tale of the sufferings that his caste had to put up with in the village of Kheri near Faridabad in the district of Gurgaon. On the morning of 24th March, I reached Faridabad in the district of Gurgaon so as to investigate the states of affairs myself. The results of my inquiries is briefly as follows. On the 5th of March, the marriage took place of the daughter of a chamar called Gorkhi. The financial condition of the chamar was comparatively good, and he entertained his guests in the same way as people of the higher castes do. Moreover, before handing away his daughter, he gave her 3 gold ornaments. This news spread amongst the Jats and was widely discussed. It was decided finally that the high castes had been insulted by the fact that the lower castes have started viewing themselves with them. Till the 20th of March, nothing untoward happened, but on the morning of the 21st, the Jats called a meeting of the Panchayat village council to consider the matter. Just at that moment, a party of the Chamars, of which a greater portion was composed of boys, girls, and women, was setting out for Faridabad on its daily duty. The party had just gone out of the village as far as the Dharamshala when the Jats attacked it. All the men of the party were belabored, and the women were thrashed with shoes. The backs of some were broken, and of some the arms. Not only this, even their implements were robbed. A Muslim happened to pass along that way, and the Jats took hold of him also and robbed him of his big gold earrings as well as of his 28 rupees. On the 22nd of March, some groups of the Jats went into the fields of the Chamar and played havoc with them. The crop thus destroyed was estimated at about 1,000 rupees. At that time, Nandwa, the son of Kori, was working in the fields. The Jats gave him also a thorough beating. On the 22nd of March, again a party of the Jats sallied forth armed with flaming torches dipped in kerosene, with the intention of setting fire to the houses of the Chamars, but later came away. On the 23rd of March at midnight, a house was set on fire belonging to the grandfather of that married girl who had been mentioned above. The house is now a heap of ashes. It contains 16 skins ready to be made into shoes and worth 90 rupees. They also got burnt up together with the other household goods. The general situation now is that the Jats have surrounded the town and no Chamar is allowed to go out. The Banyas also, out of fear of the Jats, have refused to sell anything to the Chamars. For 3 days, the Chamars as well as their cattle have been starving. The following is a more recent occurrence. It has happened in Malabar. The facts of the case are relieved by the following resolution passed at the first Chirakal Taluka Edgeworth Conference held at Cherukkun in Malabar on 4th June 1945 with Shri K. Kannan, MLA, presiding. This conference invites the urgent attention of the government and the public to the increasing cases of inhuman oppressions of the scheduled castes of Malabar by Hindus, Muslims, and Christians, particularly to the severest types of oppression now going on, almost with impunity, in the Natika Firka, Punani Taluk, where something like a regular Edgewood hunting is taking place every day as a result of the Dalits trying to wear gold ornaments and use clean clothes and umbrellas. In addition to numerous cases of assault, a Edgewood marriage party was waylaid and assaulted, and the shirts of men and the saris of women removed by force. and a Dalit student mercilessly beaten in Vadan, Delhi on 27th May 1945. Congratulating the progressive Thia youths of the place under the enlightened leadership of C.S. Gopalan, M.S. Sankaranarayana, and P.C. Ramakrishna Vaidya for their magnificent efforts to help the Dalits, most emphatically protests against the callous indifference of the local authorities, particularly of the police department, in that the ill-treated Dalits did not get any timely protection from them. This conference desires to state that almost in all cases of the above said oppressions, the aggrieved Dalits have received neither protection nor justice from the police. There are instances where poor Dalits were even beaten by the police for their coming forward to give evidence in such cases. Insofar as these events have reduced the Dalits of Malabar to a very miserable plight, and the situation, if left alone, is likely to develop into a crisis endangering the lives of all progressive Dalits who are trying to break the shackles of caste and economic exploitation of the vested interests in Malabar. This conference most earnestly appeals to the Government of India, the Honorable Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and all the enlightened people in the country to see that the Dalits are allowed to live in this land as free citizens of a democratic country, unmolested by any people and promptly protected by the administration whenever they are oppressed by others. The end.